Welcome back to the Resilient Mind. It's great to see you here. I hope that you are doing well. Today, we speak on an important topic. We will embark on an enlightening journey into the art of building strong, resilient relationships. Relationships are the foundation of our lives. They shape our experiences, offer support in times of challenge, and bring us joy in moments of celebration. But what makes them truly strong and resilient? How do we nurture them in a world that constantly changes? I've often wondered how we can build relationships that stand the test of time, relationships that thrive not only through the good times, but also during the challenges. To guide us today, I've traveled to a monastery to join my friend and wise mentor, Master Chin Chao, a monk whose life has been dedicated to seeking truth, peace, and harmony. Master Chao, thank you for joining us. Part 1. The importance of resilient relationships. We all know the importance of relationships, but how often do we pause to reflect on what makes them truly resilient? When difficulties arise, whether through misunderstanding, miscommunication, or life's inevitable changes, what makes some relationships endure while others fall apart?
In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says, "A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving." This is how we should approach relationships, not rigid, not fixed, but adaptable, ever-flowing like water. Resilience in relationships comes from our ability to move through life's challenges with openness, flexibility, and acceptance.
In other words, it's about being flexible and open to change. But how do we apply this philosophy when our emotions are involved, especially when we're faced with conflict? Part 2. Letting go of the ego.
The ego is the source of many conflicts. It creates a barrier between us and others, causing us to cling to our own desires and judgments. True strength in relationships comes from letting go of the ego, from practicing humility and self-awareness. In my own journey, I learned to observe my emotions without being controlled by them. This allows me to approach others with kindness, without expectation. Imagine this. If we stop trying to be right all the time, we create space for understanding and connection.
Letting go of the ego, that's powerful. But how can we practice this, Master Chao?
Start with listening, not just with your ears, but with your heart. When you listen, truly listen, you open yourself to another person's perspective. This creates harmony. You'll find that in relationships, it's less about being heard and more about listening with compassion.
Part 3. The flow of relationships. This idea of listening with compassion and letting go of control reminds me of the Taoist concept of flow. Like water, relationships can only truly thrive when they're allowed to flow freely, without resistance. Master Chao, could you share a story that illustrates this wisdom?
Certainly. There was once a man who came to me, troubled by the conflicts in his family. He said, "No matter what I do, it feels like we're always fighting. I don't know what else to try." I told him a simple story. Imagine a river flowing through a valley. There are obstacles in its path, stones, fallen branches, debris. But the water doesn't stop flowing. It doesn't fight the rocks. Instead, it flows around them, gracefully, without resistance. In the same way, we must navigate the obstacles in our relationships without force, with patience and grace. The key is to keep flowing with love, even when things are difficult.
That's profound. So, it's about accepting that conflicts will arise, but instead of fighting against them, we allow them to pass, always keeping the flow of love and understanding intact?
Exactly. Relationships aren't about perfection. They're about persistence. They're about choosing to stay present, even when things aren't ideal.
Part 4. The practice of self-reflection. One final piece of wisdom I'd love to ask you about, Master Chao, is the practice of self-reflection. How can we, as individuals, deepen our self-awareness to foster stronger relationships?
Self-reflection is a mirror. When we look at ourselves honestly, we see both our strengths and our flaws. In relationships, this awareness is invaluable. If we're too caught up in our own narratives, it's hard to truly connect with others. But when we reflect, when we ask ourselves, what can I learn from this moment? We grow. And as we grow, so do our relationships.
So, building strong, resilient relationships is about practicing humility, letting go of the ego, and being open to the flow of life. It's about self-reflection, listening with compassion, and allowing love to guide us through life's challenges. Thank you for joining us today, and a special thanks to Master Chin Chao for sharing his profound wisdom. If you found this video helpful, please pause the video and take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to The Resilient Mind. We'd love to hear your thoughts on building resilient relationships. And until we see you again, take a deep breath, let go of your ego, and embrace the flow of life.
Until next time, be at one with gratitude for self. Enjoy peace, love, and happiness. You are all blessed, my friends.